Hello, world. Welcome yet to another edition of Side Eye Radio. On today's edition of Side Eye Radio, we have food sponsors. And of course, you will see their logo on this corner of the screen. We are today sponsored by Iced Out Treats and Events. They're the ones who are making sure that we are at least keeping our mouths busy during this episode. And also on today's episode, we have some people returning after a long hiatus. I don't know how long, could be a couple episodes. We got my boy Josh, we've got Nina, and we've got Dope G. Well, actually, it's Sam Sakala now.
Yes.
But we're gonna get into that. So that was deliberate. Don't worry. Yeah. So yeah. How are we doing? I don't think that's a question I've asked when we are having these conversations. How are we doing? Anybody can jump in and say how they're doing.
I mean, I've been on this show before. I don't think I should start. I see all of you looking at me.
Yo, I've been here. I've been carrying this.
Yeah?
Okay,
Okay.
so
I'll start
I
now.
think Sam should start.
Okay.
What does that have to do with being like a first time on the show?
Yeah, it's like when you join the table for the first time, they make you
Wow.
feel short. This is that.
How are you doing?
Bro, like most of the people ask me that, I ask, do you want the true story or the fake story? You know what I mean? Because like there's a detail, do I know it's just like, yes, my bro. And then they code me. And then I say, hey, what am I going to do? But outside of that, man, like good, blessed.
Amen.
Yeah, glad to be here finally.
Yeah.
Heard good things. Yeah.
Oh,
so,
nice.
Yeah.
Okay, now the not so fake story.
Ish, bruh, this is not for the cameras.
Ah.
Life is life and for everyone, bro.
Word,
Yeah,
word,
so-
word. No, congratulations are in order.
Appreciate it.
Of course, congratulations, bro, for finally getting married.
Yeah.
Wow.
Also, congratulations are in order. One of our producers released an album. Go stream Initi Kula 2. Woo! You already know who we're talking about. It's the legendary Tick Tick Boom. All right. So, back to giving you some congratulations. I think one question I'd like to ask, which I feel a lot of people have actually had on their minds,
Yeah.
is when did you figure? Because I know Josh will probably ask this kind of question.
I mean, I'm here
So
to
I'm
do this.
asking on his behalf. When did you figure, you know what, it's time for me to
Get married.
get married? Yeah.
For me, I think that I reached a certain age where, and I hate having to lead with that, but that's
Yeah.
just my honest truth. I reached a certain age where I had been around, and I knew that there was nothing out there for me anymore.
Word.
You know, yeah, and I felt like it was definitely time to have my space be filled with somebody other than myself. Like I'm as introverted as they come, but then like I think that the main test was just, okay, you know what, can this person come into my space and I don't feel like I'm being invaded?
Word.
Yeah,
Real.
yeah.
Word.
So yeah, I met this one young lady and
Yeah.
we hit it off. Yeah, and here we are.
Hey, come
Nice.
on. It's always a beautiful story, man.
Always.
Yeah, it's always a beautiful story. So congratulations
Thank you, sir.
from Side Eye Radio. Yeah, Nina looking at me like, no, you ain't asked the question. What question you gonna ask?
No, I mean, I want to ask, like, you know how like most of your life has been in the spotlight, right? And you met this person, and now you're married, but you're like on TV, and you're like, okay, you're not Dub G anymore, but you're like Dub G. You know what I mean? So how did you get to that point where you, like you said, you've been around? I don't know what you meant by that, but I'd like to think you tried and tested, right? And it failed. But for you to get to this point where you said, okay, this is the woman I want to settle down with,
Yeah.
and for her to also agree to like be like, okay, this is my husband, right? Yes, he's there on TV and doing what he's doing, but this is my husband, right? How did you get to that point?
I think that's also the easier part, eh? Like
That's
where
a good
you
question.
you see, yeah, it is a great question. Yeah, so you see how the person handles the real you. I feel like when you're in the public eye, and especially for as long as we have been, there's this thing like where almost everyone that you meet has like preconceived notions of you. Yeah, and then like once you start to work through them and also just like show them the real you know, people react differently. You know, people who I'd be super cool with, like when we're out, like when we're in like private spaces.
Yeah.
But then when you go out into the public spaces to just see how many people I have to interact with on a daily when I'm out there, like, you know, they couldn't handle that well. Yeah, and also I think that the polished up version that people will get is very, very different from like the real me. Like, you know, how do I react when I'm angry, when I'm hungry, when, you know, when I have a lot going on? It's like, can a person handle all of that? You know, and the person that I'm with just showed that, you know, they handle it with relative ease. Yeah.
Nice.
Wow.
Nice.
With tact and grace.
Heavy in the grace
Yeah.
part.
Yes,
That part.
it's real important. I think one thing that a lot of men actually desire is to be themselves. And one of the biggest fears, well, maybe for me, I can't speak for all men,
Yeah.
but one of the biggest fears is having your vulnerability either taken advantage of or put out in the streets. You know, or both. That's when you now start recanting, like, all this time it feels like you are plotting, you know what I mean? So ultimately it's always a great space to be in when you find someone who can give you that grace to be you, you know. So speaking of people who give grace to others to be themselves, I'm gonna dive in a bit of a conspiracy theory. Some people think our former president is alive because his body is missing.
Wait, it's missing?
Categorically. Right? Because recently in SA there was a verdict passed because they went to court for it, right?
Yeah, remember.
They say, oh, repatriate the remains
Take them
to the
back home.
country. When the court case started, there was this chatter around he didn't even die under his own name. There was a pseudo name that was being used. So now they're like, but why? Okay, let's peradventure say it's for security reasons. That there's a pseudonym being used instead of the actual name. I know the people who are in the ledger are Zimbabwean names. As that's what was said in the court case when it first began, before they got to being given a date for the recent verdict that they were given, right? So now you get closer to the day for the verdict, and you know how the interwebs be. Some rumors start coming up, people start asking questions like, what if he ain't dead? And he's trying to utilize his Swiss accounts. Allegedly. I was taught by a good friend the other day, whenever you say something that's suspect, or could be true, could not be true, if you don't want to get yourself in trouble, say allegedly. So allegedly, the body could be missing. Allegedly.
Okay, but it hasn't been officially reported as missing.
It hasn't been officially reported as missing. So allegedly.
But isn't the body even decomposed, right? Didn't he die in June? It's like August now.
They have ways to preserve.
Yeah.
Like 2 months, guys?
Yeah.
Just chilling?
At the mortuary, actually, there are lots of bodies that are years uncollected, undefined. By that they mean no one knows. This is a John
Like
Doe.
genitals and stuff?
Yeah, Jane Doe, John Doe's, but they've preserved them. They're in the mortuary. When you go to that freezer and they open for you, so it's there are ways in which they can.
Do you think he's still alive?
Do I think he's still alive? Allegedly.
What does that even mean?
Right? What is allegedly?
Allegedly, because I mean, you know what I'm saying, like, to avoid cybercrime, you have to say allegedly. Allegedly, I would prefer to say that what I think on the matter doesn't matter, but allegedly, following the cookie trail, if I may call it that, the rumorings are pointing to an air of accuracy, allegedly, that he could be alive, and death was more or less seen as a way out, because someone brought this angle in a really well crafted article where they talked about how if the death has been faked, it's treason, because the way in which the family has behaved around it hasn't really been, the decorum around it has been very sideways, left. Like, it's more or less like they're hiding something or someone more than it is that they want to have.
But what if they just want to mourn as a family, though? Like, what,
There's that. That's why I'm saying this is a legit.
And then also there's this thing that we do, like as Zambian people,
Yeah.
like you are going to feel it, right? So you know how like there was all of those him trying to travel out of the country allegedly, that he was trying to travel out and they didn't let him go for treatment or whatever. So it's like, okay, now he's dead. Now you care. Like when he was alive, you didn't want him to go get treated. Now he's dead. You want to bury him.
Allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly, by the way. Right, so there's all of those things, and I feel like because also he was a political figure, now you have also so many people speaking into the family's ear. You know, when you're grieving, I could literally tell you anything and you run with it. Do you know what I mean? So there's also those angles. Allegedly.
But do you think that your theory is the reason why they're pushing so hard for the body, or is it just like a matter of principle? What's your take on that?
Very alleged. But I don't know. I would say off kilter perspectives always like catch my eye for some reason. I think it's like a wiring of sorts. I always tend to look at the story that's being told of an angle we can't see. Because if we're being honest, we're just going by reports.
Yeah.
We're going by what's being said. And then now when you have reputable figures starting to spew out certain caliber of information, you kind of take a side eye to it. You know what I mean? Like, that's interesting. This person is allegedly close. You know what I'm saying? Like, we've seen the pictures, we've seen the track record that this person is someone who's posed as someone close to the family enough to come out and say this. It's a huge risk for them to even come out and say such things. So I would allege to say. Yes.
I have a question, right?
Yeah.
So do you think, I'm basically just adding on to what Sam has asked. Do you think that the reason they've pushed this, like even going as far as court to bring the body back, is because he was like a Zambian president and he deserves a burial here in Zambia, a state funeral? Or is it that they also kind of like think there's something sus going on, that they're like, nah, until we see the body for ourselves? You know what I mean? So, but for me, it's like, it's a risk on both sides, right?
Yeah.
Say you genuinely believe that something sus is going on.
Yeah.
Then the body comes and this guy really died. And then what? Then like, oh yeah, I was... You know what I mean? Because no secret, they didn't like each other. That's not
Allegedly.
alleged. No, that's not alleged. They didn't like each other, guys.
Okay.
They're, I mean, yeah. No.
I mean, they reconcile. That's why it's allegedly.
Yeah, but I just feel like it's very tricky, these things, especially when it's like in the public eye, and
Yeah.
then our focus goes away from everything, like the price of milli meal, the fuel, the dollar. No, we're just focused on this. Body.
Yeah, you know, ultimately, right? Because there was also that period in time, I think during the national mourning period,
Yeah.
there were these articles that also started coming out around how the family feels, no, the government should not be anywhere near his body. Those were requests he made. So obviously that points to someone knowing that they're about to go, right? For them to make such a request. But also the reports, these are not alleged. The reports are that he was due for a very important surgery. So as far as he was concerned, that surgery was supposed to be smoothed over and he would recover. So how is it that he knew Yeah,
But to add on to
know what I'm
that
saying.
though, like
Mhm.
I'm gonna say this. There's a time I had a fight with one of my cousins, right? Like a
Mm.
very big fight. And this guy was like, never attend my wedding, even when I die, don't come to my funeral, I don't come to my burial. So I mean that could be something he could have said like angry or out of context. It doesn't necessarily mean that yeah, but what I mean is, did anyone come and say like, oh, he was writing his will and he said, oh, in my will, please add that if I die, no one should come to my funeral? Because there's no context in which that was said. He could have been touched that they didn't allow him to fly out. So I mean, like, okay,
Well, the
this
family was touched about that.
yes, but
that
even the
was
person
documented,
himself,
yeah.
because I'm sick, right? So it's like, okay, so if I die, I'm not saying I know I'm going to die. I know I'm not going to die. But we also have this notion like, if I die, is that when you're going to care about me? So he could have said that and said like, look, if I die, these niggas, these people
Allegedly.
should not show up to my burial, like allegedly. So what I'm saying is there's also that like he said, she said thing. So there's
Exactly.
we can't tell for sure
Yeah.
in what state of mind he said that,
Yeah.
right? But
If
also
he said that.
yes, but also that's not even proof to say that someone knows that they're dying.
I think I might have something to say. Sorry.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have heard of Niccolo Machiavelli.
Of course.
Yeah, he has this very strong saying and perception about truth and power.
Yeah.
His belief is truth is a function of power. Whoever holds the most power controls the
The truth.
and
Exactly.
So I
Exactly.
think it comes down to speculation and who's controlling the narrative and why are they controlling the narrative as opposed to
And
what's
you will
actually
never
going
know
on.
why they're
Yeah,
controlling
so at the end of the day, it's going to be a game of zero sums.
Yeah.
Sure.
Speaking of narratives, it's why I feel, certain exposés happened in between because they didn't really want to know what the truth is. But allegedly, it's all alleged. Can you spell allegedly?
It's all alleged, obviously. We don't have hard facts. This is based off of research, which is entirely
Alleged.
yeah, and we haven't fact checked it.
It's alleged.
And also something that goes through the media, especially at that level.
Yeah.
There's so many things that we obviously will never know. Because you hear them make statements like, oh no,
The media.
the family is saying that the attorney general doesn't know why they don't want the big man going anywhere close to the body. But they'll also say that the family has communicated directly to the government.
Right.
Like, we are not privy to any of this information. Yeah, but it's like
Just certain things.
Yeah.
It's like we talk to the family, but they don't tell us everything.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So-
yeah.
And-
Also, politicians are funny, man. Like sometimes they'll say it's on site, but then you see them out there, they're hugging.
Kisses
So-
and everything.
Yeah.
And also that's why like
Yeah.
us who are like on the
This is a
outside,
dirty game,
right?
y'all.
We get so
Yeah.
invested, like so invested. We're mad, we're upset. We're like, you know what? How can they? This man is not even dead. You know what I mean? And then whole time, like none of this concerns you. Like it doesn't change the price of meal meal. It doesn't change the fact that you only have 200 kwacha in your pocket. Like
Alleged.
focus on the things that actually matter is what I mean. Because sometimes, and that's why it's so easy to distract us as human beings, someone will just say one thing and we'll run with it. Then now imagine your entire day is just thinking, this man is dead, bruh. You even go on Google, like how to fake your own death. Right? You start researching that. But
Wow.
all of this is from the media. You haven't spoken to anyone. You don't even know the president like that. You haven't spoken to his family. Everything is, oh no, Mr. Shanshani made a statement. And it's so easy because sometimes Mr. Shanshani didn't even make that statement. You get what I mean? So if I come and tell you, like, this is what Sam said, let me tell you, like, on my mama, that's what Sam said. You know what I mean? And then you now go and stand and come to Side Eye Radio on the podcast, and then you're like, guys, Sam said this about me.
But you should have his number.
Yes, and people won't care that you spoke to Sam, or if you even know about Sam. They're just like,
Don't worry about them.
yeah, so they won't even care that you actually spoke to him or had a conversation. Based off of what you tell them, you know what Sam said.
Yeah.
But people
So-
also hate to be wrong. Like even if you find out that
Facts.
yeah, like what they believed was not true. Like they won't admit it. They'll just go with the same narrative that they had.
Fufana no.
Yeah, they'll just say I know that body it's a clone or whatever. Like nothing you see it. But then one thing we just have to admit is like people die, unfortunately.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They do.
If you really, I mean, from what's been reported, we choose to believe
Allegedly.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, came to the end of his journey, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plus, if you really are into like track and tracing, if you look at like photos within the year, that especially leading up to his passing, you can tell that something is wrong.
Yeah.
And more or less you're counting down, allegedly. So, like, ultimately at the end of the day, thank you.
Yeah, please.
I need to play for these bones.
Thanks.
Man.
Place this right here.
Yeah, just put it right there.
Bob, I need another drink.
She needs another one. Speaking of other ones, you will need strong drink for the kind of things that people put themselves through. Have you guys heard of the pilgrimage to?
Thank you.
Was it to Jerusalem? It's to Jerusalem, yes.
We started
Oh
in
man,
1999.
bro.
Wait, 19 what?
They even change clothes. That's my thing. Yes, from Mazabuka they got stuck in Ndola.
That's 26 years
This
ago.
year, yeah, they've been walking. They've been now 20s.
In 6 years.
Yeah, when they were stopping in certain places.
Yes.
They were
Yeah,
stopping
I
in
think
certain
so.
places,
Like,
right?
Probably stop and just like.
They stop in Choma.
Probably did.
Then they start speaking a different language because apparently their leader got inspired by Suryan. Suryan came and taught him a language.
Wait, Greek god?
No, Suryan is the god of the pilgrimage to Jerusalem. Yeah, allegedly.
Okay, so were they like stopping to like make families and stuff? Because
Yeah, because it was like a whole group of people. Some were kids in that group of people. Have you seen like the videos and pictures?
Mm-mm.
Oh my gosh!
So it's like a cult.
Yeah, pretty much.
Or
Oh,
a religion.
okay.
Just
Yeah, or a religious cult.
alternative beliefs.
Cult.
I like the wording you've used.
And what?
Alternative beliefs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I mean, like, I think one thing, and I'm as Christian as they come, right?
Yeah.
But if you had to look at some of the beliefs that we have in our respective religions, like from the other side, like some of the stuff just might sound a bit, like offside. That's on some, okay, like really, you mean to tell me that?
Like the Holy Spirit.
I don't want to put it that way.
No,
but
you
I'm
already
just
said it,
saying.
you might as
No,
well
I mean,
carry
like, here we're focusing on Suri what?
Suryan.
Suryan. So we're hearing this for the first time, and then we're comparing it to stuff that we have grown up listening to.
Yeah.
Yeah, like from the time you're a child, like this stuff has to go into your head.
True.
Like we used to read my book of Bible stories, so like from the time I'm
Used to watch Super
this
Bowl.
is something I'm really, and then like how many years down the line, here's something new that I've never heard about. But also it's being brought by black people. So we mostly look at ourselves just like
Exactly.
so it's
Here we
like,
go again.
if Suryan continues for like 2,000 more years, 2,000 years down the line, somebody might, and you're saying that the community seems to have grown.
Yeah,
Yeah, so give those people like 100 years,
Yeah.
200 years, how many of them are going to be there?
bro. I had this weird conversation. I remember.
I have a question. How do we feel about this? Sorry.
How do we feel about this?
Yeah.
We just feel sorry.
Yeah, no, but like I generally needed to know where we were then.
No, we feel sorry for the people. I feel sorry for the women and children that were made to be pilgrims and start walking all the way from Mazabuga with the promise of seeing.
Sorry, I'm Suryan's advocate, bro. Like, I'm just saying, everyone has a right to choose whatever it is. If you want to choose like a Nike shoe to worship, go for it, bro. So, hey,
Because Nike
shout out to
is
you,
an actual
Suryan
Greek
people.
god.
Huh?
Nike is an actual Greek god. Yeah.
Look at that. Word in the
Right?
spirit, bro. Saying things out, no research yet.
Keep
This is
in
Suryan.
Wow.
Just to be sure.
Man.
Okay, but
How do you feel about this?
Yes, how do you feel about Syria and walking from Mazabuka to Israel?
okay, I'll say this also. I'll put this red. Being child of Jesus Christ.
Hallelujah.
I'll put that there, and that's not alleged.
Mm.
Look, we, like you said, we're all allowed to have something to believe in, right?
Yeah.
But then we all, you know how when we were kids,
Yeah.
and then everyone tells you God is good and the devil is bad and what, right? Then you also have to get to a point where you experience God for yourself, outside of what you were taught, outside of your mom, your church.
Not your mom's
You
church
need to
magazines,
experience Him, have a relationship with Him for yourself, right?
Yeah.
With everything, and I feel like also even with this Syrian guy. But there's also a point where like common sense.
Kicks in.
You know what I mean? Because like, where are we working for 26 years?
I'm not saying
Okay,
that.
like when are we going to start asking questions like, why are we still here?
Yeah.
Right? Because like, even just from Mazabuka to Ndola, guys, won't even take you a month.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay?
And they got stuck.
So at 26 years, no one is wondering why we're not moving.
They got stuck.
Like, no one is like,
They got stranded, not stuck. They got stranded.
Right? So I want to ask, was he also trying to do like the whole, you know how in the Bible,
Yeah.
when
Moses led.
yes, and then like
Yeah.
40 years for
Yeah.
for like a
They went round
journey
in
that would take them
circles.
like a month.
Yeah.
Is that what he's trying to do?
That
I mean,
So
if-
he disobeyed Surya.
Maybe that's what Syrian told him to do.
Ah.
I mean, he did say,
And then Surya stranded them, like, oh, for your disobedience.
No, maybe it's
Right?
Allen Kundola.
right? Because also that's a question.
Korean might not appear in Yatogate.
But they were walking.
They don't need for the target. But also, you see how you say, okay, Syrian might have said this or might not have said this, right? So you did say this is a small group, right? That's growing. This is unlike the Israelites who had lived in the same place for years. And now they couldn't fathom the fact that, guys, is this wild to be free? You know what I mean? We might as well go back. At least they fed us, right? So now if Syrian,
slavery.
right, it's like it's new. Like you said, it's fairly new and this guy's communicating. So you're telling me he's already punishing them for just like joining? Like
You don't know what happens, you know. on that
nah,
journey.
ain't no way you stay in one place for 26 years and you're not being punished for something.
Maybe he chose to speak a different language other than the one he was taught.
First of all,
Yeah.
they didn't talk about like Syrian's powers. We just need to.
No, they didn't.
No, they just said, oh, our Lord is Syrian. He taught us a language. This is the language we
He doesn't
speak.
smite podcasters. Like,
No,
Oh, okay.
no. I'm covered in the blood of Jesus. He
I
can.
could give some background
Word.
from the little I understand.
Yeah.
I don't know how far you've gone with your religious pursuit of Christianity, but in 1945 there was a discovery in a village called Nag Hammadi.
Hammadi.
Yeah, that's ancient Egypt. In 1945 there was a library of books, 13 books, threaded together with like rope. When these books were carbon dated, took the date back to it showed us,
BC.
yeah, like not BC, but in the 80s, like 150 AD.
Oh,
Shortly after the testaments were just completed and the disciples were spreading them around.
yeah.
So amongst the Nag Hammadi library, we have the Book of Thomas, right?
Yeah.
One of the books that many Christians won't even dare to open. And many other
They
books
won't?
like Job, yeah, because it's crazy to think that there's a book that exists outside of the Bible that was written by,
Oh, there were a lot.
yeah,
There were a
quite
lot.
there
The
were 13.
doubting Thomas?
Yeah. No,
Yes. So from the Nag Hammadi library, my understanding is from 1945, those esoteric Christians that took this interest to see, okay, what's actually in these pages? Let me
Yeah.
see what goes beyond what's in the Bible that we know,
Yeah.
are the ones that actually group themselves in these searches where they're doing these pilgrims and they're walking around trying to see, okay, what if there was knowledge in that text?
Yeah, yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
this is where it could unfold to.
Yeah.
That's
So I
very
think
bad.
that is one of the main backbone issues surrounding why we have a huge surface of sprouting esoteric beliefs,
Yeah.
systems,
Yeah.
and all of these works.
Mhm.
I thought I should just put that across.
Word. That's very true.
And that's
Everybody.
respected, and that's what I said. Everyone's allowed
Mm.
to believe what they believe in. My only question
If you
is,
believe in Sprite.
does believing in something mean you lose all sense of self?
That's deep.
Right? If I believe in this, it means even when something's like, okay, this is quite questionable.
Something's weird.
Right?
They make you eat grass.
Because even just you as a Christian, right? You've seen some like really
Weird.
controversial preachers online. Because why are you spraying doom in my face? You get what I mean? Right? No, like you have some really, there's this video of this guy that I don't know if he has magic powers or whatever. He like does this hand on the keyboard player and the keyboard player just like,
Slain.
you know what I mean?
That's
So
the word. That's the word.
there's so many controversial preachers even in Christianity, right? You have those that were making their church members eat grass. You today, your pastor says go and eat grass, you're going to eat it.
No.
You get what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's what I mean
You
because
wanted to add something else to that.
Yeah, that's his stomach.
right, and then-
If it was someone else.
I probably would have gone, but like because
What do you mean? What do you mean
Exactly,
someone
like,
else?
Okay, because look, we're all entitled to what we believe in. this
Yes,
life, right?
yes.
And the fact is, we are all living in this time, and at the same time,
Yeah.
no one knows more than the other. You've never died before.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
So you can't have the manual to what life is, right?
Exactly.
So I like to call myself a seeker. I'm continuously filling my cup. I don't like to just know, because then I'll never learn anything more. Because now I just know this, and this is who I
This is
am.
all
This
there
is what
is.
it is.
Right?
I am not what the white man calls an ideologue. I don't
Yeah.
like to do that. I don't like to sit in a framework and then I submerge myself in it. I like to hear what the Buddhist has to say. Like, okay, why do you believe what you believe? What actually drives you for you to believe the way you believe? I think having an open mind for me works for me. So I'm always of the notion that, because even in Christianity itself, there's battles. Because I heard you just now. You said something about, the pastor said something to the keyboard, to the pianist guy,
He
and
didn't even
falls.
say anything, but he
That's-
just he says hand. You see my hand? It's like
Take it.
I'm like Spider-Man.
Touch your screen.
It's like Spider-Man, what's happening? And what pisses me off about this thing is
Yeah.
the people that play along to that nonsense.
No, there's a
It's
movie
like-
I can recommend.
You have to say allegedly.
No, like
That's exactly what
No,
you
but
have to
that's
say.
I'm going to say allegedly because I lived in Zim for a while, right?
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
So one of these like popular men of God, I'm not going to say his
my-
name,
Allegedly,
But it
because
starts with M, allegedly.
he can find me. You guys, I went to this church. My cousin would talk about things like about her church, right? When he says hi to her, have you ever run into Chris Brown?
Yeah. No.
He said hi to me today. Oh my God! I'm like, girl,
Chill.
the same man,
You give Chris Brown as the example.
right? So then I go to the church because I'm like, I need to understand what's going on. And the entire time, this man is like, I know I can see my haters in
Hey.
this crowd.
So
I'm like,
that matters.
yeah, it's like, no, my haters are in this crowd. And you've been sent by what? I am in the
Salvation,
seventh
eh?
dimension.
Oh wow.
All these other preachers are in the first and second dimensions. So in my head, I'm like, right? So bear in mind, at this point, I'm trying to now build a relationship with God outside of
Yeah.
my mom, my family, like, oh, God is good, what. So now I'm learning about God, which means, because
Own
I grew up
yourself.
in UCZ, what, right? So I'm like now I resonated more with like the Pentecostal side, right?
The charismatic.
So I'm sitting there and I'm like, this guy is preaching about dimensions and other preachers. I thought we're here to listen
Talk
to the word
about
of
Jesus.
God, right? This guy has like 4 bodyguards standing beside him on the pulpit.
4 bodyguards.
So many of you have been sent to assassinate me. Okay.
Yo, you have to give me the name of this guy.
So, right? This is like I'm experiencing this. So also his biggest puller to that church was the youth, right?
Of course, yeah.
And the hungry.
Yeah.
Because what I'm telling
Especially those who
you
want shortcuts.
is that if you listen to me, you can receive a magical $10,000 in your account.
Oh no, that's crazy.
So I now come, right? And that's real life. That's real life. So firstly,
But they make it
I experienced how my cousin was behaving like Jesus walked past her, right? So, from my understanding about the Bible and God and what this is I'm speaking about myself, right? Everything we do is to the glory of God, right? Like, even if I have the power to heal him today,
Yeah.
it is not mine.
It's God's glory.
God is
God is
working
Lord.
through me,
Word.
but God is the one that's working.
Word.
So then when you, the man, now remove God out of the equation
Yeah.
and use him when it's necessary. Oh, bless the name of Jesus Christ. But the whole time you're talking about yourself. Do you get what I mean? So you also get to a point with you as a person, like you said, you're constantly seeker, but also you don't need to be a seeker to discern that this is us. And I didn't even have to be heavy in my walk with God at that point to be like, yeah, no, we're playing games here.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is, when do we draw the line as people who believe in, I'll say, a higher entity?
Word.
Right? When do we say like, no?
Okay, if I'm to be extremely honest, it's an education issue. What do I mean? People naturally gravitate towards charisma. Like, wow, this person knows. This person is so passionate about what they say, but they're not willing to do the work. Because when you do the work, discerning even becomes easier to do. Like, you would know, right? Theology dictates that God has revealed himself and his character consistently, and he makes sentiments and statements about his character to echo as an ancient of days. You know what I mean? Like, it's so consistent from beginning to end. God says stuff like, I don't change my mind. I don't repent of my mind, right? God says things like, I am everlasting, right? So now, someone who doesn't change their mind in an everlasting manner means that's who they are, right?
Yeah.
They'll never change their mind. God also says that the gifts that he gives are without repentance. It's why we have charlatans. It's why we have magicians. It's why we have people posing. They are psychic, but they'll claim, now I'm a seer in the prophetic, right?
You do have a gift, just like the one that you think.
Exactly. So, like, it's very easy also, because spiritual manipulation is real. Even beyond what someone is able to do in you or with you, there are things that when you feed on them, they are manipulating you. Right?
Even just music.
Yeah, even just music. I was about to delve into that because there's what they call, hippies call it frequencies. We vibe at a different frequency.
I'm a hippie.
You're a hippie?
Yeah.
I'll at your boy.
What's up?
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So don't vibe at a different frequency, bro.
Yo.
You know what I'm saying? So
Right, like,
yeah, like but the concept around frequencies and so on and so forth, like scientifically also, the body does vibrate, right? And it does vibrate at a particular frequency, to the point that frequencies affect what this body enters into, can do, and what have you, right? You can listen to a song. I don't know if I should mention this person.
no, don't.
Okay, I'll just mention the title of the song.
Allegedly.
You listen to I Believe I Can Fly.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And all of the, whatever mood you are in, suddenly you're on top of the world.
True.
You think what? Because you are vibrating at a particular
For me,
frequency.
it's Champion by Joe Boy. Like, have you ever felt,
I'm the champion.
oh, you're feeling weak and then you play that song? You walk into the office and like, yeah, man, I'm ready to take on the day.
Hey, come on. So, but basically, I say all of that to basically say the educational issue is that people are not doing the work required of them
True.
to know.
True.
Like, just from that standpoint. Because even one of the main things that I would say for me, beyond having encounters, I would say then confirmed me fully converted. Because I was atheist, right? So having that full conversion for me outside of encounters with otherworldly things was seeking. I had to now go and say, I've had a weird encounter. What correlates with this kind of encounter I've had? I encountered so much information. I read the Bhagavad Gita. I read the Quran.
Irish fam.
I read a lot of what they call extra canonical bibliography, right? Your books of Thomas,
The
if
things.
you know what I'm saying? I read about the Anunnakis. I read about the world pre-dating the flood and what that looked like, what stories are there.
what stories emanate from there. I read Egyptian mythology, Greek, this, that, and the third. I was just looking for answers. But do you know, in my seeking, what I didn't do? For some reason, even in my seeking, I was resisting going to the Bible. The Bible was the last thing
That you
I
read.
picked up. Yeah. To this day, I don't understand why it was the last thing, because immediately I picked it up, it answered every encounter I had.
Finite.
You dig what I'm saying? So I'm not saying that to kind of like, hey, you should read your Bibles. But honestly, if you say you are a believer in the God of the Bible, you should know.
I am saying read your Bible, guys.
You know what I'm saying? Read that Bible. But basically, I gave that caveat to just say that it's a journey, right? And even in my journey, I had to get to a place where the answers I'm seeking, they are not in all of this knowledge, right? Because I read a lot.
Yeah.
I read a lot.
like
And
you said-
knowledge puffs up. It really does.
A lot.
Yeah. So do read your Bible. If you are a Bible believing Christian, it would be such a disservice to your mandate as a believer to not know the God of the Bible. It's why yeah, I almost mentioned names, but it's why a false prophet will come to you and propose power and shortcuts, and you will be there. If I just abide by the man of God, this will happen. But when you actually know how God functions from the biblical perspective, it actually even affects how you identify yourself, you know, and what you identify with, and you realize a lot. Yeah.
Just to go back to like where all of this started, right?
Yeah.
I remember Nina was asking about the belief. It's just like, okay, you know what, you believe in something, but then like you've been stuck for 26 years. Like, what's your... And it made me go back to, first of all, when we're talking about belief,
Yeah.
we have to understand that there is an element of doubt there.
Of course.
Yeah, or like there was maybe choices, and we chose to go with this choice as opposed to this choice.
Yes.
You know, like you don't believe your name is Dexter. You know your name is Dexter.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then like there's other things where it's like there's belief because, you know, there's somebody else who's also convinced in their own things, right? Yeah, so I just thought it was important to just mention that. Why? Because these guys chose what they believe, you know, and I think they're even in better positions than some people who, like, some of us are born into some of these things. And
Yeah.
even if you do have to choose, like, okay, now I was UCZ and then I went to what, your choice is kind of like limited to a certain degree. And it's so hard for like people with different beliefs to like fit into the society. Yeah, because it's almost like I had a Muslim friend tell me that somebody just plain blank told them you're going to hell. You know? Yeah. So it's one of those, man. Like you believe strongly in whatever it is that you're believing in. Secondly, I feel like we should never underestimate how easy it is to brainwash people.
Yeah.
People want something to believe in, bro. Like people want something to believe in, and this is something that you see, especially when you live your life in the public eye. It's like you have to deify yourself to a certain degree, and it's not just like music or television or whatever. Even social media, bro. Like there's just people who've just shown up from nowhere,
Yeah.
and they're just like, listen, I am the boss here, and you people are going to follow me, and people start to follow. You know, they'll go for it and they'll do that.
That's the
And-
power.
Yeah, exactly. And then lastly, I think that one thing we don't address, and especially this is in a Zambian context, right?
Yeah.
Now because
Onion.
you see, Asungubadi Sungenta Michelle.
Guang.
So they fit those into like Christian holidays, for example.
Yeah.
Okay, Christmas, but with Santa Claus.
Mm-hmm.
When we go to Easter, but we can prefer my Easter bunny shan.
Mapoza
If
banana
we
eggs.
so adiposa fiance fiesu. Okay. Now there's a gap that's left there. This gap requires for us to have somebody who listens to God on our behalf. Because like this concept of like somebody saying that they can talk to God directly,
Yeah.
it's not there. Okay.
Yeah.
Lastly, on this same point, right? The Bible that we're saying was telling people to go and read.
Yeah.
You know, the education system is different now. Like it's not
Yeah.
what it used to be back then. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if we're going to tell someone, okay, no, go and read your Bible, what guarantee is there that there's going to be comprehension of what they're reading? Okay. And then the Bible also has so many complex things already just translating it from,
Layers.
translating it from Greek or
transliterations,
exactly, Aramaic,
either
like this.
watered down.
Exactly, they're watered down just in English. Now imagine how much more watering down has to happen for us to like somebody who only speaks Nyanja or Bemba, and this is a vast majority right now. For them to understand that, like, there's complex things that the Bible talks about, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Beings which look different, and they describe like crafts and all of that stuff. It's like, how are we going to explain that to the next person? So now we have the challenge where people still have that innate thing to want to believe somebody else will listen to God for them and then deliver that message.
Yeah.
And then like
They don't want to do the work.
No,
It
even
goes
if
back
you
to
wanted
him.
to, if you can't do the work, you can. Like, you can't
Yeah.
give me a book in Chinese and then you expect me to do the work.
No,
I
but
will
like,
read it, bro.
I'm
But
not-
then if I don't get it, yes, go for it.
You have to do the work.
But
Like, what I'm saying
thing
is,
it's
yes,
ability.
you
Not
see how-
everyone has the ability to do the
To
work.
comprehend, yeah.
Like you said, right? You said obviously there's people who just genuinely can't, right?
Yeah.
But let's not now put everyone into the genuinely can't.
Same.
Do you understand what I'm saying? Because like you said, this is a group of people that are growing, that have stayed for 26 years. You can't tell me of the entire group. All of them don't know how to read, or all of them just decided
But
that
read
they
what?
want whatever it is that they're believing
The
in.
Like,
Surian
in terms
language.
of, like, if they're doing research, like, where do they even start? Because, like I say, like, there are times when there's this basic English. Also you, me, also you. You know what I mean? Like, we can understand each other on that level, right? There's no guarantee that the person that you're having that conversation with can even spell. Secondly, if they even have it in them to do research. Thirdly, we also underestimate, because like you grow up in an environment that encourages you to ask questions and people don't belittle you.
Yeah,
Our culture doesn't have any of that.
yeah.
Asking why.
Yeah.
Like, why are you asking why?
Just
This
roll
is-
over.
Exactly. This is what we do. You go with it. Okay. So there are people who might follow something because they feel they have to. It's not everyone who's free enough to go and start asking. Secondly, like, just language. There's a huge language barrier. We love to stick to
The
English.
guys,
but-
they learned a new language.
Uh-huh.
Do you understand how
Yeah.
difficult it is to learn a new language as an adult?
Exactly. But how much information? Let's
So
say
you
that's the
can
only
learn a new
you speak.
language. Oh no. So you can learn your. This is not a language that they speak. This guy literally said that Surian taught him that language, and he taught those other people. So the same way they could learn that language, they can't learn anything else.
How do you say how are you in Surian?
Yeah, like that's my point.
Nishkash.
Like I'm just saying, if you are able to learn something that
Okay.
complex, because if I've made up a language just to live, it's not easy.
There are these guys who come and live by like corner stores, right?
Right.
I mean, they work in our neighborhoods and stuff. Most of them come from countries where they don't speak English. They come here and then they learn Yanji. Then you go there and you try to speak to them in your English. You don't have that context or concept. Why? Because as far as you know, like, everyone should have like a basic understanding of English, right? Yeah, but then here are people who've learned a whole new language, but then they haven't learned the language that, I don't know, is the official language for knowledge and information passing down. So those guys can learn Surian or whatever it is, right? But then, like, what guarantee is there that, okay, simply because they can learn that, then they can understand, let's say, the Bible, for example?
Yeah. Guaranteeing.
My argument isn't that there's a guarantee that they can learn English. My argument is their ability to learn. So if they're able to learn an entirely new language, a made up new language, why can't they learn English?
What if the willingness is there, but there's no one who's teaching?
Yes,
them
no,
that
but
from
for
that
you said, like, this is going back to your point. You said that, like, people don't have access to these things. English is not like what. So I'm saying, like, if you can learn an entirely new language, English would also be an entirely new language for you.
Yeah. Okay, so just for the
So
record,
even the
also-
Bible, which is not only written in English, translated into Nyanja, Bemba, or anything close to Kawe or Monze, even in Tonga, I'm sure, right? So you wouldn't learn to read in that language, but you would learn to read in a made-up language. That's what I'm saying.
The thing is, there was somebody willing to teach them. So
Yeah.
just because they're able to, doesn't mean there was somebody who was actually doing it.
Yeah.
You know? And
So,
I was
so
also
I
speaking
get,
to
I
two
get, I
points.
get
Yeah.
what you make. Yeah.
And I also get where you're coming from.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I was also speaking to more than just one point, because we were also talking about, no, there's somebody who comes through and makes you eat grass and all of that. So it's like,
So
yeah. So it's like that person, like, they believe in that person so much, like, who makes them believe. And I think
Yeah.
that it's also a cultural thing, because
Yeah.
like, we have certain families who are supposed to hear from the spirits,
Yeah.
and that's who we depend
The
on.
Lunas.
Exactly. Yeah. And then, like, here comes the rest of us
Yeah.
who come and do this. But yeah, valid point though.
no, valid point as well. But all in all, I just
I
feel
like
like
this validation.
even as we are, I mean, in this I don't want to say this generation,
Mm.
but where we're at now and going forward, right?
Yeah.
Shouldn't then now we take up roles, which we've obviously seen that there is a lack
Mm.
in that area, right? We've seen that, okay, and this is not just speaking about the Bible, this is speaking about everything, information in general. Because I'm pretty sure you can go to someone in the village and tell them that you're president, dress a certain way, walk a certain way, and pull up with a mortar. Maybe they'll believe you.
Mm.
So if we can see those gaps, right? And we here collectively say we are seekers of knowledge, right?
We are
So
seekers.
5 years from now, if something like this happens, what are we gonna say?
That we did not seek enough.
No, like people
You're kidding.
can't learn and all of that, right?
Yes. Yeah, but it comes back to my education issue argument, right? My main shtick with everything around like the whole education issue, of course, it's willingness on both ends. Those willing to learn and those willing to teach,
Yeah.
right? And I remember when I was in my political science class some years back, one of the questions my lecturer posed at the time was, you guys are learning these systems, or teaching you these systems so that you can actually be world changers. The problem with all of you here is that you're just trying to get a distinction. On paper, you will forget all of this stuff. It wasn't like. Because the truth is, we were there to
Get a degree.
get the degree. You know what I'm saying? But the validity of the information I learned in there was meant to empower me to go and now teach people, to go and speak to the average voter in Matero, in Anagori, in Nyungungu, you know what I'm saying, in Chisokone market, and tell them to say, if they come with a shiny car, that's not it. Let me teach you what accountability looks like, what this word means, and so on and so forth. So a lot of like the nuances of education take willingness. I really think, coming back to like the whole religious pilgrimage, right? Coming to your point around the language, these people were willing to follow this guy because he presented new information, right? Not only did he present new information, he presented it in such a way that they were like, this man must be legit. Let's go. You know what I'm saying? And he's no different from even honest and true figures in religions. They all spoke charismatically, they presented new information, and they had a host of followers to go with them, right? Maybe the fundamental difference is in the willingness, because each religion will ask you around your what? Your willingness. So for me, on the angle of getting people not to lose sense of self is, first of all, how much of themselves do they know?
Sure.
Right? Because obviously we don't want people to just be blindly following things or people,
Yeah.
right? You have to have a sense of identity. And I'm not entirely sure if we fully discussed the identity angle, because I also kind of feel like identity more or less predetermines or dictates whether you will be a sheep or you will be that person that goes up and say, I don't know about you. Sorry and Awe. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
so on and so forth.
Yeah.
So now, again, that also takes willingness,
Sure.
right? There's willingness is such a powerful tool in any arsenal, whether it's in the arsenal of stupidity or bravery or both. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, especially with like this religious pilgrimage, one thing that I would have hoped we explore a bit more. Of course, we have touched a bit on religiosity as a whole, you know, and so on and so forth. But on the issue of national identity, like what's the main contrast between the charisma of the people that followed this person and the languages that they learned, and whether or not they even identify themselves as people?
I didn't see that one coming.
No, but it's a legitimate question. It's a legitimate question. Think about it, right? Because herein you have someone telling them, we have a God named Surya. We are not of this world. We don't identify with you people, and we speak our own language.
Okay, but
That's crazy.
to take it to
Surya?
Haven't all religions said that one way or the other?
That's what I preempted with.
You know?
That's
Everything,
what I
like, we're
preempted.
not of this world, we're
Yeah.
someone.
yep.
Yeah, I don't know about. I can't really say
I'm not going somewhere.
because they live close by. Yeah, but yeah, people who sometimes face the east.
Yeah, everybody has
Yeah.
got their own quirks and
Yeah.
idiosyncrasies, but
Rituals.
isn't that the whole concept of culture, cult,
Yeah.
religion?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
isn't that
yeah.
the whole concept? You listen to one person and then build a tradition around it.
Cool.
Yeah, it's humanity's desire for identification,
Yeah.
to be valid and accepted in something, you know, even if that something is willful ignorance.
Okay.
Yeah. Or,
Heavy on
stupidity.
the, but heavy on the willful ignorance because it also takes a lot of like
Cojones.
delusion. I'm going to use the word delusion to
Not
believe
cojones.
in something that you cannot see.
Yeah, true.
So
Or you were just
believing in,
manipulated
like-
really well.
So believing in like God or Suryan or Allah, like whoever it is that you pray to will believe.
Listen,
in.
if I'm hungry, right, and then somebody tells me, okay, no, you know what, Side Eye is offering you food, you know, like.
Yeah, he ain't seen
But,
it yet.
for you to eat that food, like you have to sit through a conversation. And then I do this every single day. So now I'm attaching something which brings some kind of relief to me
Yeah.
with, you know,
the
whatever
end goal.
information. Yeah, exactly. So I come around this, I don't know, 90 days. How long do they say it
21
takes to
days.
stick? Yeah.
21 days.
Yeah,
21
exactly.
days, yeah.
So boom, 21 days. I hear 21 days is like the surface, and I think it's like 60 what? 63 or 72, I don't know, one of the two, right? Like
Yeah.
that's where it like sticks now. It's a part of people.
Boom. It's
So every one of these things is sold in a certain way. Like,
Yeah.
I was
it's-
leading towards believing in the man that is representing this said spirit. So like how people would worship the man of God instead of God himself is because it's easier to believe in what you can see than the God that doesn't. Like they can
okay,
tell
I
you
see
he has
what you
all this
mean.
power,
Yeah.
but then your pastor is like throwing air balls at the piano player and he's flying away, and you believe that. No,
I've been in weird churches where the preacher just goes like and then people
and everyone starts falling.
like they're being shot.
Right?
I'm
So
just there
that's
like,
what I was
man,
trying to
this
say.
is a play.
Even the
Like,
guy that came and taught everyone the language and said Syrian or whatever, it might not even have been about Syrian himself, but the man, like you said, the
Yeah.
charisma, but also you're looking at this man and he speaks so well and he believes what he's saying.
he speaks this made up language. So
Right? And you're like, nah, he got some power and I want that.
I also
Right?
had to speak.
So that's why you
Mishkash,
have
Mishkash.
people who would like misguidedly would now
Yeah.
sow a seed to the man of God and not to the God himself. You have people telling you the man of God has this magical, you can't have children, but the man of God, if you sleep with the man of God, you have children
Yeah.
because he's been sent by God,
To open
right?
your womb.
So it's magic. You know what I mean? And you can laugh at these women and be like, dude, how could you be so dumb? But this woman believes in her heart.
There's a church in
So that's what I
Kenya. I don't know if it's been shut down now,
Yeah.
but there's a church that was like went viral for a bit in Kenya. A radio station even called the pastor out on live radio, and he was so defiant, right? Areola Fire Ministries. You can guess what this man was doing in his church.
Wait, Areola Fire?
Areola.
If there was a church, I would join. I'm there. I could be the deacon.
Oh,
like,
I'm sold.
So this lady was called, this is 2018, so she's calling him out to say you are sexually harassing women, and you are claiming that the anointing is in the breastries, you know. And
Oh, he's touching them.
Yes,
I remember
yes,
that. I remember
yes. He was even going as far as calling seminal fluid holy milk. Yeah, so there are a lot of weirdos out there who look for knowledge gaps and capitalize on it.
Exactly,
People.
exactly.
You dig what I'm saying? That's why I'm saying the willingness to want to learn beyond just what do you call this? Semantics, right? And also the willingness to go
And
and teach those willing to learn. You know, like there's a portion in the Bible that talks about how Jesus was not willing to perform miracles in places where there was no faith, right? So it took that willingness to receive what he had for them for him to actually go there and give it to them.
Yeah, because he's a magician.
Exactly. He's not a magician. So like that also comes back to pointing to, you know, there's this deeper question I've had around it. And obviously it might be too deep for us to discuss right now because, you know, we ain't got that much time. But it's around, I would call it innate power that God pre-designed into us, right? Which we call faith, right? The ability to receive something supernatural and to give something supernatural. That is something I've been trying to more or less wrap my head around. And of course, it's gonna take maybe even a lifetime. I don't know.
Okay.
But these are like what I call extra biblical kinds of questions. But again, speaking into like ultimate goals, right? I feel as believers, if you're watching this and you're a believer, get out the bed, get out the chair, and go do something with your belief. You know, because ultimately, how will you know the extent to which that power exists, right?
And also, I feel like when you speak to someone, it also like just highlights the places that you lack knowledge in. You know, because sometimes you think you know until you have to speak to someone about something.
Yeah.
They're like, actually, I don't know this that well.
Yeah, that's an actual proverb, right? In Proverbs.
Yeah, no, because I remember when I was just like figuring out where I was,
Yeah.
right? I used to believe heavily, based off of how I was raised, obviously, that God used to punish us, right? So I had this belief, and I grew up believing that if anything was
From
going
suffering.
wrong in my life, then God was punishing me for like, oh, maybe I lied yesterday, or maybe like I gossiped. So I'm like, I felt deserving of the punishment because I'm like, oh yeah, I messed up there, right? So then you now go and speak to someone. And this person is asking you, if Jesus died for my sins,
Yeah.
right? Why would I be punished for the very same sin that Jesus died? So now I have to answer that. But I have grown up believing that like I get punished every other day, right? So I had to go back to my Bible. And God says he didn't send his son to like not only save the world, but he didn't send him to condemn the world. So he didn't come to say, I saved you, you sinner. Do you understand? Like, without me, you'd be nothing. No. It's like you need to also believe that you are saved. Because, like anything, faith involves belief.
Yeah.
So if you don't believe that God has forgiven you, you are basically punishing yourself and blaming it on God.
Coming back to identification, you will function.
So,
from
like,
what
stuff
you
is
believe.
going wrong, right? You've already believed that this is going to go wrong because I sinned yesterday. So, you've already decided what God should do, right? So, God didn't even have to do nothing. You already said, like, bruh, I'm being punished, even when you're not being punished.
Yeah.
Because even for us to receive forgiveness, we have to be willing to accept that we are forgiven, right?
Oh, and also to forgive.
Yeah.
So
So,
I have to forgive.
when I read that, I was like mind blown. I was like, really? Right? But that happened after having a conversation with someone I had gone, like, I've come to teach you the word of God. Right? And then she helped me see that, okay, I didn't really know what I was saying. And sometimes we base our relationship with God based off of our own perceptions of
self.
ourselves.
Exactly, yeah.
Right? So you go into this relationship with God carrying everything you think you know about yourself, then you place God in that box.
Yeah.
Yes.
Think, oh, he can't do this for me.
Yes, like
because this is
I'm
who I
not
am.
deserving of wealth because no one in my family has ever been wealthy. So you tell God, like, even just okay, even if you just give me 100,000, you know what I mean? But God's trying to give you $10 million, but you don't believe that you are worthy of $10 million. So why should He give it to you?
True. There's this concept I have, right? And it's personally just me. It's what I call the natural progression of life.
Yeah.
So I borrowed this concept from a verse. I think Jesus was teaching his disciples about faithfulness. So he said, faithful in little, faithful in much. And then he went on to give this parable about how the kingdom of God is like this rich man who's gone on a journey and left someone as a steward
To manage
his properties, his estates. This person squanders the stuff. And then the boss sends him a letter to say, you're running out of time. I'm coming back and I'm going to kill you. So you better sort yourself out before I get there. Now, the way letters worked back in the day, no sooner had you received the letter than the person has arrived.
Right. Real.
So, Mandem got the letter, and what did he do? He called up everybody who owes his boss and managed their debt and settled his debt in the process. And then he was like, now I can gracefully bow out. Like, thanks, sir, for the opportunity. I've sorted out a lot of the issues. I've repatriated the body, the funds. Allegedly.
Allegedly.
The funds for what your people owed you and what I possibly owed you. And I'm going to work on your friend's estate. Yeah. Thank you for the experience. I know I won't waste your friend's estate. And then the boss reads this letter and he goes like, I was coming back to congratulate you for managing things. I wasn't going to kill you. You know, I know it's too late. I've already moved. But anyway, I say all of that to basically say, in the natural progression of life, your faithfulness as a person more or less determines certain predictable outcomes, right? When you're 6 years old, you see a car, you want to drive it.
You can't.
But you can't. You're 6 years old, right? But in the natural progression of life, eventually, you'll be able to drive that car, right? So meaning, I like to say God is someone who respects process because that's the natural progression of life. When they give you a piggy bank and you are saving 10 kwacha, every day you're saving 10 kwacha, you one day start saving 100 kwacha. And it won't be hard for you to do that because your faithfulness has been proved from certain levels, you know. And there was a point where I looked at money as, you know, the way people would say, we've made miracle man, and so on. And sometimes you think, oh, money tends to be with a certain class of people. Me, it comes back to that thing. Me, maybe. You know what I'm saying? Until I started trying to put this in motion to say, okay, in the natural progression of life, if I get a payment today, where is the money going? Okay, let me try and manage the money up until the next time I have money. It's not easy, but I eventually got to a place where you look at a car and you are like, I can buy this. Where previously you'd be walking, car passes you and you're like,
one day. It's like a one day. You know what I mean?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that natural progression, you now start to have an appetite for more, right? And in the process, again, you're supposed to have contentment. So it's like,
It's difficult.
you know what I'm saying? So there's like all these contrasting things. And then now you have people that bat for the evil kingdom. You know, they are getting opportunities. Quick, fast.
Yeah, I've been thinking.
You know, you now start thinking, my friend, all he did was get called a baby for a week. You know, and I'm out here, and things are not, you know what I'm saying? But even in those things, right, there were certain harsh lessons I had to learn, especially when I heard the audible voice of God tell me, leave your job. And you can imagine, I'm just months into marriage. The first question I asked God was,
Who's going to take care of her?
who gonna take care of the home? You are lining me up for divorce. What is this?
Right.
You And he simply just said, trust me.
Faith is rooted in obedience.
Trust me. So God being a respecter of process, me who has to go through the process doesn't mean I trust the process. Because the process can burn you.
I
You're still
can.
going to trust it? You know what I'm saying? So you can
Sometimes even
trust
the
one
process
who-
doesn't know what's happening.
You know what I'm saying? The process is just like, oh, you've come today, okay. We've checked in. This one checked into the lodge of process. You know what I'm saying? So ultimately, I say all of that to just basically say, in the natural progression of life, your faithfulness predetermines certain outcomes. Yeah. So like if you desire to be a millionaire, you have to know the process it takes. And
Yeah,
you
but-
have to go through that process.
You also have to,
Yeah.
like, first step is believing that you are capable of
Of
making.
making a million. Yeah.
I think my biggest takeaway from this conversation is that sometimes you're so stuck in your ways that like someone else's ways are like, bruh, I know what I know, right?
Yeah.
Like I know what I know,
Zero.
and I just like really like us, like as we go through the rest
Yeah.
of the week, to like share this with someone
Word.
who might not watch this podcast,
Word.
but to like come back like 3 months
share.
later and someone's like, dude, you know that thing that you spoke to me about? It really helped me like this. And I don't just mean like stuck on the Bible or Christianity. It could just be about helping someone sit with themselves,
Word.
to like listen to themselves. Like, do you know who you are? Like, have you ever asked yourself questions? Like, do you even like coffee, or does everyone around you drink coffee?
Guang.
Like stuff like that.
Yeah.
I like that. And I think that's a perfect segue for like how we can close out today, right?
Yeah.
The Zambian dream. What is the Zambian dream?
Oh no, it's your Benz, guys. If you don't drive a Benz, are you crazy? What do you mean? You don't have that kind of sign in your picture. You are you. Do you know?
Wow.
If you take a picture of anything, be it like you're in your car, take a picture of a bottle or what, and that Benz logo isn't there,
Wow.
that's not topical content.
Not just any bands.
Not just any Benz, but no, but
S-Class.
Benz, guys, no, but
320.
Benz, but Benz.
Aye.
I feel like now part of the Zambian dream also is a Benz.
It's
Because
moved from Toyota.
I promise you, 10.
It's no longer a Ford.
If we ask like
Hilux.
10 people today, right,
Canter.
and gave them options, say Toyota, Benz.
Makex.
I'm saying
What
Benz.
Toyota is it though?
No,
Eh,
not
Makex.
details. Even on the Benz, we're not giving details,
Oh,
right? Some accounts, Benz, Toyota. Toyota could be Hilux, it could be a
Yeah.
big brand.
Yeah.
But if you hear just
Mazda.
the brand
Mazda
name,
BT50.
a brand, someone says, okay, Toyota,
Give me a
Benz,
Ford
maybe they even
Mazda.
put like a Lexus on the side. How many people do you think are going to pick Toyota?
Landslide.
It is.
Benz.
Real. I see you guys creeping on trying to end the show. But I have one question. Big man, one leave just like this because I've been cooking, man.
No, we want to talk about the Zambian
No,
dream.
let him cook.
I really have one pressing question. I think there's people that also want to know the answer to this question. Did you ever have a phase in your time before you got married when you just said, I'm never going to get married?
Yes.
I knew he was gonna ask that. I knew he was gonna
Please
ask that.
elaborate. How did that go for you?
I'm one to try stuff, bro. You know what I mean? So when I was of that belief, I wanted to see what my life was going to look like if I didn't, switch my mindset to be like, okay, you know what, I'll settle down. And it's cool, but then like long-term sustainability and consistency and all of that stuff, it's better. It's way better. Like to actually like have something that's consistent. The devil, basically, yeah. So yeah, but if it's the streets, bro, I can write a whole book, bro. Yeah,
You should. You actually should. Might help me.
Josh, are you at that point in your life?
Man, I'm everywhere right now. Like.
He been everywhere since last time.
Yeah, no, I'm still searching. I won't even lie. It's no secret that I'm the youngest on this podcast, so I'm still in my.
We didn't even
Discovering
know.
phase.
We didn't even know that, by the way.
I mean, he knew.
We knew that.
We spoke about it last time.
Okay, so question to you,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And this is best of your question.
What is the
Would-
Zambian dream?
What would you know? Listen that.
What is your Zambian dream?
What do you think is a determining factor to why someone would come to that decision?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Whether or
Not
they
not
get
settling down, but getting.
On like, I don't want to get married. Is it heartbreak? Is it maybe you see your like I see the married people and it's not cute. That's why I don't want to get married.
Not necessarily. It's mainly because of the statistics. Numbers don't lie. You look at the world around us, and most of the marriages around us, especially from those that I call my role models, have fallen.
And you don't think yours would be different?
That's a very good question.
Wow.
I honestly don't.
Mm.
Unfortunately, I know if I believed it would be different, then maybe it would be different. But I'm looking at the fact of things on the ground, right? And for me, right now, I don't know if I don't know what generation you come from. I'm like a Gen Z. In my generation, everyone is playing. Everyone is playing from morning to Sunday, and no one takes this love thing serious.
My only comment to that, right, is in everything you've spoken about, there has not been you in that equation.
It's everyone else.
Real, okay. No, that's very true. But the way I like to see it is that I think I've done the shadow work that is required for you to actually be in a stable relationship with someone. I think I'm a pretty decent
Human
person.
being?
Yeah, like as a human being, I think I'm okay.
Yeah.
Right? But I have been in the waters before. I've tried to go fishing and I'm like, oh, this was cutting. I'm here looking
Fishing
for
or
goldfish and
swimming?
the sharks.
Fishing or swimming?
Where are you
Fishing.
Where are you fishing?
Right? I was literally about to ask
Are you
that.
fishing
Because
in
it could be Zambezi River,
That's
Kapiwe.
a good one.
If
That's
you,
a
if
good
you
one.
fish in Lebanon, you'll catch it in Venice. That's what I'm saying. So.
But also, I also have this biggest belief that sometimes, especially in love, I believe is one of the things that comes to you when you're not searching. Because when you are searching, like preemptively searching, like I want a wife or I want a woman, all you will find is the wrong things. And the wrong things because you have now put this in your mind, this is what I want, this is what I'm looking for. So something that could be good for you might not look like what you want.
That's actually sound advice.
That's what I'm saying. So you could go into this and you're like, girls are just playing. Big girls are doing this. And that's not even, I'm not even going to say, oh no, you're lying or whatever. That could be true or it is true, right?
Yeah.
But if you do you write down a list? Do you have a checklist?
No, listen.
No.
Yeah, but I
let me
feel-
finish.
okay, yeah.
So you have this, like in your mind, right? This is what the ideal woman looks like, right? And that's what I'm searching for. So if a girl messes up in a certain way, you're like, aha, bro, I'm out. A girl does something, no, I'm out. But when you get to a point where you're like, you know what? Let me work with myself. Like you said, you've done the shadow work and you think you're a pretty decent human being, right? But most of the time, when we think we're decent human beings or we're good people, we really aren't.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
You know? So sometimes you even base yourself, you're like, nah, that person's too for me, right? But like this love thing, just live. Like just live. Like do what you normally do. Go to the gym, have fun, spend time with your friends, and I promise you, you won't even be looking like there'll be no textbook, nothing, and you will vibe with someone. And the thing you won't even think about is, is this person going to mess me up? Because it will be so natural. Because now sometimes even as you do search, you search with your guard up. Because you've already been hurt before, you've already seen how dirty the water can get. So now you have clean water, but you keep searching for a part where you're like, will I see like a speck of dust?
Like when you're looking at Aqua Clear and checking.
Yes, and that's pretty much how we go into the dating phase after we've been hurt. Because now our mind is programmed to search for danger. So sometimes it's not even danger, but this looks familiar. So no, I'm out. Don't even look for it. Don't search for it. Don't think about it.
Yeah.
Just be. And then
That's very valid advice.
because I can bet someone is looking for his wife.
I'm not looking.
You get what I mean?
Yeah.
So let's not.
Yes. I have a question.
When you're
Yes,
ready.
sir. So, no, I was.
I know you're in a relationship for a long time. It doesn't even count.
Goddamn veteran. So, like, what's a realistic expectation that a person like him should have of long-term relationship and also marriage? Because I feel like, yes, because for the most part, like when we're looking, we don't look like the way that our parents looked. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because like, when we look at our parents' love, like if you do have that privilege of like seeing them, you notice that it's a lot of mundane things. Mom is always figuring out what's going to be had for food or whatever. Ideal setup is like, father will be out there looking for food or whatever, right? And they do this every single day. Maybe you have a holiday or two in a year or whatever, but then like for the most part, it's the most mundane things. When we look at TV, that's not what we're seeing as what love is.
Yeah.
Love is like
We're seeing flowers
Exactly.
and trips.
51st day,
in-
exactly.
yes.
Because she has a short memory.
Because even just the idea of
That's what the
submission these
movie is
days
about.
is so flawed. Right? It's
Yeah.
so flawed. It's like a woman must submit looks like a woman cooking. Bro, I can pretend to cook for you. Are you crazy? Like I can cook for you and not respect you.
Yeah.
So it's like little things like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, so submission looks like cooking and maybe if your man tells you don't go out,
Yeah.
then you stay home. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
But like
That's a
submission means that even in any decision that I make, I seek your counsel first. You know what I mean? But that's not what it is. Now it's like, can she cook? Yeah, she'll cook you into province.
Wow, she's cooking. So that's actually a good callback to something Abel said.
Yeah.
We are so engrossed with what we've seen on TV about what love looks like. We've forgotten what it looks like for people that look like us from where we're from. Right? But I think the realistic expectation I can give you is look for character. Aesthetics will be aesthetics in that time. Is
Yeah.
this someone who, when you're 80 and you look at them at 80 and go like, I made the right decision?
Okay, but chill. What if I expressed to me looking or searching?
Because you are young.
I am.
You did say you're the youngest, so
Yeah, but like,
you
am I
preempted
searching?
us.
No,
I
no.
asked that question as
it's
well.
not necessarily about you searching,
Yeah.
right?
Life
And
is
it
That should
also
represent a good demographic.
great, yes, and it also could not just be about you.
Yeah,
It could be about someone
Yeah,
in your
someone could be
position.
30 years old out there and they're not yet married. And they're still searching.
Where are you?
And they're
Thirty?
dating
Sorry.
college
Are you
girls.
30?
No, I'm not. I'm trying to say I'm not searching. I'm not.
No, I said, are you 30?
No, I'm
Not
26.
Mm.
Yeah,
So,
Do you think you're far? You're not far.
I'm not that thing. I'm not
When I was 26, I thought I was far. I was like, 30.
yeah, no, honestly, when like the time is
Yeah.
right, like it just happens.
Hopefully, I hope it comes because right now, singleness is a blessing.
Another thing I'll tell
And
you
enjoy your
is
singleness.
the
When you know
is
you
on
are.
you. So once you feel I'm in the right season to do this and that, things just align.
They do.
I was broke when I was planning a wedding. I was broke. I did not have consistent income. And this is something I tell a lot of young men because they think, I need to chase the bag first and then get the woman. For me, I'm a firm believer in what God has said about the institution of marriage because it's his idea, right? He who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor.
Yeah.
So the moment I hadn't even voiced this out, I didn't declare it, I just thought in my head, Lord, I've been seeing your daughter for 8 years now. I think it's time.
Yeah.
That was just a thought I had.
Not this time, Destro. Understand. Because 8 years is crazy.
Look, there was school in the way, okay? Yeah, and a couple of other discussions that I'll probably talk about maybe on a future episode where I'll
Yeah.
give you the chance to. But you kind of have to go through life because we had the kind of relationship where we started dating, then went into college, right? That's a different environment, but proximity. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't make the heart go fond
Wonder.
because you now get used to it. It becomes a bit routine, but you're comfortable. And this is where I'm at. He's my dude, I'm his girl, such things. Yeah. But also it depends on the kind of character. This is why I keep coming back to character. Character is very important because character is the only thing I feel between two people can sustain them. Without character, everything is in vain. You dig what I'm saying? What is character? Character is the substance that makes up a person. It's actually one of the most visible qualities that's invisible but attracts you to the person beyond the gravitas of attraction.
I have a question. Do you think someone's character can be molded?
Yes.
Yes.
Because in the Christian circles, they'll tell you that what you want for your character is to be more like as Christ-like as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like you're modeling Christ. So like, what's his temperament like?
Yeah.
What does love look like for him?
Speaking in the relationship perspective, because you did say character was important, but I mean, do you meet someone and think maybe they could get better? Or maybe they could learn the traits that I need them to possess?
Do you know what that brings us back to from today? Willingness. Yeah. You have, I think I even mentioned this the first time we started delving into like a lot of like relationship chatter. I had mentioned about the willingness to learn each other as you grow. If that willingness isn't there, it might be difficult because you'll be stonewalling each other saying, this is how I grew up. This is why I do this because I'm traumatized from where I come from. This is me. Take me or leave me. You know what I'm saying? And so forth.
Yeah, because like at some point, guys, it's your responsibility. And not to like
it's your
throw
responsibility.
shade on like whether you've experienced like difficult things in your life, right? But it's like your responsibility to do better. Like when you were younger, obviously you had no control. But now you do. So imagine you're like 35 now. You have choices. You get to decide how you want to feel. You can even decide whether you want these people in your life or not. But it's irresponsible to now bring someone else into your life and be like, this is what I went through, so this is who I am. And when you see me throwing shit in the house, it's because that's what happened when I was young. And that's not fair. You know?
But it's calm still.
So yeah, no, forgive me for cussing.
It's all good. It's all good. I'm just playing.
Punish you.
You know I'm playing.
No, you won't punish me. I receive the forgiveness.
Alright, cool.
But I just mean that like we also need to stop expecting people to become a part of our lives and be unwilling to change. You want someone to come and be a part of your life, but you're like, no, this is who I am. I'm just short-tempered, or I have abandonment issues, or I have trust issues. But it's not the other person's responsibility
to accommodate or
yes,
tolerate
but like if you have
your
trust
indiscrepancy.
issues, right, or you're insecure within yourself, there's no human being who's going to come and change that for you. That's you. You have to even decide to trust someone else. It's a decision that you make. There's nothing anyone can do. If you decide I don't trust this person, they could call you, they could video call you wherever they go, they could give you access to all their passwords, everything. But if you don't trust them,
it's wild.
So also if they wanted to do you dirt, they'll do you dirt, bro.
Yeah, right? And that you cannot control another person's choices. Like all you can do is control how you react and how whatever they've done makes you feel. And for me, I will always stand in that because like I get to decide in this moment, like, do I want this to break me? Or like, do I want to be sad for a couple of days and move on from this? That's my choice. But I want to live there and then I'm just telling the whole world, man, that chick, man, she did me dirty, bruh. Or like I spend the rest of my life talking about that one guy who broke my heart. No, okay. And then what? This guy is living. This woman's moved on and you're stuck in that place. So I feel like the Zambian dream also sometimes makes it very difficult to be happy.
Yeah, because you have a monolith of what the ultimate goals should be in life.
Yeah, and then if you don't have those, whatever it is,
you kind of notch yourself.
Yeah, that word that you used. Speak it again.
Notch?
No.
Monolith.
Yeah, that part. You don't have the monolith, right? You might actually be genuinely happy in your life, but you don't have a Benz. You know what I mean? You have a good wife, you make a decent amount of money, like you're happy, but you don't have a Benz. You know what I mean? Some people will look at him and be like, that doesn't have a Benz. He's not happy. Or he's renting, doesn't own his house. So it's things like that that I feel like make it very difficult.
Young shoulders,
yes, to be happy. And that's why you have like, especially the younger generation, doing the most random stuff. To keep up. To like, you know your kid, your 40, your 50 shiny-year-old father doesn't have those things. And you are 21, wants to sell your soul to get a Benz. Your dad doesn't drive a Benz.
There was a conversation we were having earlier about culture, and so we just sort of digress, but I feel like it's something that's quite related to what you're saying, right? I think over time we have lost who we are because most of us don't even ask saying, okay, me, I am Chewa. like what do Chewas, at what age do Chewas, like when should they
What are the rites of passage?
Exactly. Because we know about, the Jewish, they reach a certain age, they'll have a bar mitzvah, and yes, they're a child, but then they're considered an adult and all of that, right?
Yeah.
I feel like our culture also does have that information, but then like when we get to the city, us, we just erase everything and then we forget it.
And your
Let's
tribe
not
is just that.
embarrass
It's just
ourselves.
that. It's like, what tribe are you? What tribe are you talking? You don't even know how to speak like
Exactly.
a single word. And I'm speaking about myself, by the way. Like
Wow,
I'm not even
wow.
talking about anybody. I don't even know.
And the information around that stuff is
Do we
scarce. It's
forgive
stuff that
you?
we need, though. It's stuff that we need to understand ourselves, because I mean, like, this is how come every time we look at like the Kuomboka ceremony, like something just awakens inside of us. Oh no, that's beautiful, whatever. Or we hear something like, we love, especially like here, we gravitate a lot towards South African culture. But I think what we love is not necessarily South African
They're
culture. It's
unashamed
the fact
about
that
it.
they have a culture,
Yeah.
which is theirs.
Real.
Yeah. Here we'll always be told that's not Zambian.
Yeah.
But what is Zambian? And do we even
Ooh.
have such a thing as
Yeah.
Zambian culture? I think that's
Yeah.
like we would have to
Yeah.
doubt that, because nothing. There's no
There's no synergy.
consolidated
Yeah.
like Zambian culture. Yeah.
Yeah.
All we
Because
have
Zambian
is
culture
that-
is the Zambian
this
flag,
thing.
right?
About that, yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Pretty
what's
much.
up?
The Zambian
It's the
flag.
flag.
Oh yes, exactly. Yes,
Right.
and Shima.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Shima.
No, I mean like if you see how you spoke about like South African culture, right? You could be able to tell that this is Zulu or this
Yeah,
is,
this is
based off of
Xhosa.
their traditional wear and all of that.
Oh, we also like
But
Nigerian
we have
culture.
our flag.
Yeah.
That's it.
We got a flag.
And the green is not even consistent. Like sometimes
The shades are
The hues, the saturation.
Yeah,
So-
no, real.
Yeah. Yeah, so ultimately, I feel like we will still need to talk about this at some point, but we just ran out of time.
Okay.
And we were having the time of our lives.
And there's nothing wrong with the Zambian dream, by the way.
We
Yeah,
were.
nothing
Get your
wrong.
plot, get your Hilux or
You
your
know what I'm
Benz
saying?
or both.
But it shouldn't just be a monolith. I think
Yeah.
that's my
And
my
it shouldn't
issue.
define your idea of happiness.
Exactly, because now that when people, because I feel like from the time we were kids, we were told when you finish school, go to Unza. You don't go to Unza, you feel less of a person. When you finish Unza, you need to get a degree with a distinction. You don't do that, you feel less of a person. When you move from Unza, you need to get a house,
A job.
money, a job.
A
That will
government
get
job,
you-
by the way.
A government job. That will get you the house, the money,
And the
and
car.
the car. You don't do that, you feel less of a person.
Then by like 30, if you're a man, you need to be married.
Yeah, I
A
don't know
woman,
why
you can't
they
even get
chose
to
that.
30 because are you dumb? You get into 30 and you're married.
Now the problem I have with that particular biasness on women especially is you shield her throughout the whole teenage years, 21, 22, 23, 24, now you start putting pressure to say, "Oh, find a man."
I got into school.
Right?
And also,
And then
and
tell you,
also,
oh my God.
yeah, and the reason why a lot of like the traditional learning that men and women do right before they get married feels so torturous is because it's compressed within a particular time period when they could have been teaching us these things from
I
young.
beg to differ though. I think that for women they start them off really young. Because how many times you hear a statement like, "Yo,
Yeah.
guy quite should some genganda."
Yeah.
Don't be ango, le buka ineshte. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? Like, there's all
yeah,
those
yeah.
things, right? For us,
But
they don't
for
really
us-
put that pressure saying, "Ah, we don't want some genganda or whatever." You
Yes,
know what
but
I
that's
mean?
the part also.
Yeah,
I feel
it's
like even the
compressed.
traditional part is not just for women, but for
Yeah.
men as well. Because how are you going to learn how to be a husband a month
Exactly.
before you're
And
ready?
also, it's a women's world now. You know.
Oh, yeah.
We find so much identity in the money that we make. But it's
Yeah.
just like, let's not forget that the person
When
that
we
you
make
with-
the money,
you
goes to the
obviously-
woman.
Yes, and you will empower her. What
Yeah.
happens when she starts earning more bank than you?
Your madam
start
must
feeling less
eat
of the
your
man.
money.
Exactly.
you think what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So now, because of all of, I feel like the monolith around the Zambian dream then leads to what I like to call the unholy trinity:
Yeah.
politics, beer, and football.
But beer.
Football. Football is a bigger religion in Zambia than the church. Trust me. I've seen people get heart palpitations.
Wait, doesn't the Premier League
over
start in like
Dhaka
4 days?
missing.
It's 4 days, right?
No. You see, I even know.
The passion.
No, 5 days.
Oh my God.
Close. You know what I'm saying?
Are you
17th. Today is the what?
12. Okay.
Okay. You see what I'm saying? But do I know when Jesus is coming back? No. Man, before Jesus, he said no one knows the hour. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But when you see these signs, have I been seeing the signs, or have I been watching YouTube videos of football players?
Yeah.
You know, just yesterday, Cristiano Ronaldo proposed.
Finally.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. You see? You see?
I'm now knowing.
Yeah. 3 million diamond. 3 million diamond.
But you know what? That man has been married this whole time. The Lord says if you've been together with a girl 6 months.
I have kids even.
That's
They're
a wife,
married.
bro.
No, that man's been married for real. It was just that paper that they needed.
But why so
Otherwise-
young though? Like, why is he married so young?
30, 39, so young.
That's crazy though, because
Yeah.
they paint him out to be so old. And you know where I am now, 39 is so young.
Nobody in football years
it
is
is.
pretty old.
Yeah.
Yeah, only because of the pressure that's there around athleticism.
Yeah, no,
You
football
kind
years
of
is
peak
is a
when
valley.
you start hitting 27, 28. So people don't even look at you. They're waiting for the young blood.
Yeah,
Come on,
17.
yeah, 17, 18. Like right now, people are making so much noise about Lamine Yamal. He's 16. I think he turned 17, isn't he?
Yeah, so
You know what I'm saying? And his birthday party was such a huge issue. It was on BBC. I know he had a private party, and apparently he had party
Little
rocking
people.
midgets. but he
that's
treated
used
little
politically.
people. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Oh, yeah, little people, yeah.
Yeah.
So sorry, algorithm. So,
Allegedly.
you know, no one knows the intimate details of the party except the people that were invited. But the
True.
rumors, no, police even called him to check if he injured any little people. And I'm just like,
But then people are so mad. They're like, he's being a prick. I'm like, he's 18
Yeah,
with
but-
money.
He's a
and
child.
fame.
He's literally a child.
right? And then his girlfriend or the woman that he's been pictured with, that's dating him, she's like 35, right? No one's calling her pedophile. But if that was Cristiano dating an 18-year-old, fresh, wet behind the ears, 18-year-old, it would have erupted.
Real.
He's such an aggressor. This, that, and the third. They would have cancelled Cristiano Ronaldo. You know, that's why he plays in Saudi Arabia. They won't deport him. But yeah, so
It's a woman's world, guys.
you think what I'm
Woman's
saying?
world.
Like
Was
it's
a man's
crazy
world,
because
tables on the
because you know what the internet was saying about her being with him. Hey, she can choose whoever she wants to be with. If he's 18, I hear the young bloods are good at what they need to do. And I'm just out here like, oh, it's like that. Oh, okay. Cool. We just vibe pedophilia. It's cool. I don't even know if we can say PDF file. Anyway.
Yeah.
Political correctness.
Man, censorship has just gotten out of hand.
True.
Yeah. But at least our YouTube algorithm is okay because you know where's Zambia. So one day I'm kidding. This episode might blow up and then gwang. It's been flagged. So, but yeah, ultimately, like the unholy trinity, dog, like
Crazy.
the biggest question I have around the unholy trinity, is it a matter of people getting to these things to be distracted from not really achieving the Zambian dream? Or do they get into these things, right, as a distraction? You know, do they get into the unholy trinity, right? Like being so busy about religiously following football culture, being religiously following what we call the weekend culture. I'm going to binge drink from Friday to Sunday.
Yeah.
Monday I'm back at work, but Friday in Jakarta. The cycle continues, you know what I mean? And then there is politics as well, because it often feels like people get into politics to then sort themselves out to achieve the Zambian dream. So now that's where like my question is boiling down from. Is it a matter of people distracting themselves with these things? Politics, beer, football.
I'd add 2 more
Or-
things to that.
Where?
Shima.
Shima.
Maps. Alright, so like, when you listen to people talking in the streets. People are either talking about politics,
Yeah.
football,
Yeah,
beer,
yeah,
Shima,
yeah.
your maps.
Oh man.
Yeah. I'd
man.
add those two there. But I feel like we had touched on this earlier. I feel like people want to live vicariously through other people. Yeah,
Boom.
someone was saying with like a Nike ad, you're not necessarily paying for
The sneakers.
the logo or whatever. It's like the
feeling.
no, actually they say that it's the discipline that the athletes have. Yeah, so it's like you don't have that level of like discipline to like work out every single day at that level because these guys are like in water, you know, they train crazy, like that's their life. Yeah, bro. So we watched that.
Yeah,
because
like,
like
if I
we're
wear
watching
shoes,
football,
I feel
exactly.
like I'm Kobe Bryant.
Exactly.
Oh,
and
man.
whenever we judge sport, we judge it from a point of if it was me, I would
Yeah.
play like this. I'd put in this guy or whatever. So it's not necessarily just the sport.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's also that like there's an element of like us living vicariously through these people. And you would say the same about politics, you'd say the same about alcohol also. It's like an escape from this reality, like your current reality and all that. Yeah, so
So I always like to think around those things, like because the drinking culture in Z, the statistics are actually higher than that of divorce.
Really?
It's
Of course,
wild.
no, it's
And a large percentile of the stats are young people younger than 20, who are drinking heavily, spirits and solvents, because you don't know what problems they are solving.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy how much of... Can I say something?
Destro, please.
I'll continue, bro.
What I say? Y'all just broke into laughter. Is it the stat? Like, the stat's crazy? Is it the stat? No?
It's what they're trying to solve. with the
And they're
solvents.
solvent.
Yeah.
That was not deliberate, I promise. I would have chuckled. There's this weird chuckle I do when I do something deliberate.
And we have a drug problem in this country.
Oh, and because there's a job problem, it leads people back into these patterns. Kwang, you know, so... But also on the job thing, right? Work culture. Zambia has a terrible work culture. This is why we can't have a 24-hour economy, in my opinion.
Are you unemployed or unemployable?
Boom!
Real.
Brother, why do I have to beg you to just
Sure.
tell me the price of something in your shop?
That sounds like a real frustration. That happened today.
No, but real, it's like you spend money on advertising, right?
Yeah,
And you promote a product.
yeah.
But I still have
But
to
it
come,
doesn't work.
No, I still have to come to your DMs to ask you the price of the product.
No, in fact, the one
This
I
is a
don't
paid
like,
ad, by the way.
The-
Okay, I don't follow you. This came on my For You page. I see this bag. Instantly, I'm captivated. I want to.
Took the bait.
I go to your page, and there's no price. And then you can see in the comments, people are asking price. Then someone says DM.
why did you advertise?
Right?
Make it make sense.
You better be a ghost.
Hey, it's true.
You know, because
True.
then what? Because if you're spending money on the ad, right?
Yeah.
Just me asking what the price is, you lost me at the point where you said DM. So you are clearly not converting me
DM
into
for
a
president.
customer.
My products are fire. By the way, please inbox me about these products.
No, for real, how much is it?
A DM for president.
DM for president.
That's all I'm saying. Buy me.
You know what?
Merch, caps,
Yeah.
and whatnot. You know.
Hey, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So if you want some rig, DM for president.
Yes.
Our IG, okay.
You get it.
now.
You know what I'm saying? So I think, ish, man, that's a whole different episode. I don't know if we're gonna cut this up into two, but like I said,
Just say.
Marv out here looking at me like y'all better get out my house.
The line. Watching football.
What did you say about football?
Religiously.
Hey, yeah, man, I even thought that him is watching a sermon, you know, Miles Monroe up in this piece.
Don't think that.
You lying.
Ah, man, okay, but yeah, I think guys, we need to reconvene and talk about, are you unemployed or unemployable? Because that's a real conversation.
Listen, guys, the city especially, I can talk about Lusaka. Lusaka's
Yeah.
changed. This is not the Lusaka that some of us grew up in. This Lusaka is very, very diverse. What do you mean I'm hearing Shona when I'm in Karingaringa? Okay? And then people come from their countries with a very, very different work ethic. Okay? So you, while you're stretching at 9 hours, jumping out of your bed, someone has been working for 3 hours.
Boom.
That's who you're competing with. And then you want to give me attitude when I ask you about the price of something.
In your shop. No, I'm gonna tell you like it is. The working culture of maids and garden boys, or let me use the politically correct term that I was taught growing up, helper in the home, right? The communication etiquette is terrible, but they expect you to understand when you are the one who reaches out to them to find out why they haven't come to work.
So this time, my helper last weekend sent me a message the day she was supposed to come to work. She said, "Sorry, madam, can't come today. Going to the show. Going to the showground. I will rate her because she did not lie. She did not say she had a headache. She just straight up said, "Madam, I'm going to the showgrounds. Come tomorrow." And I just said, have fun. Because what else was I supposed to say?
I do the chores myself. That's what
You ever told your boss you're not going to work and you told him the truth?
Did you go to the show? Maybe you should have.
you were here.
Who go to such places who have that level of audacity.
Yeah.
And trust, I was right there on the ground. There's a lady I met, she had a 2-month-old baby on her back at the show. Yes.
Is that dust?
Baby was this tiny. Yes.
That's actually crazy.
Yes.
That's crazy, man.
So again, the city has changed. The city
Yeah.
is not what it used to be.
Yeah.
All that no respect, what, yeah, my
It really
G.
has changed.
Have you
I
ever
feel
heard
like-
someone cuss someone out like from the inside out, bro?
Hey.
Like
On like every
Like it was a carefully curated Kendrick
Exactly.
Lamar diss against Drake, but in local language.
no
I
home
feel like,
training.
but like on every episode, we always have like this like takeaway, right? And
we've had
the
several
question that you
takeaways.
posed, right?
We've had several
Whether
takeaways.
someone is whether someone is like you're unemployed or unemployable, I feel that's like something we should sit with this week until the next episode.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, just sit with yourself and be like,
I
I
like
got the
sit with
job
yourself.
that I wanted today, right? Am I in a place where I'm willing to show up when I'm needed? And like,
Willing
there's a time one of my mentors told me,
to do the work.
do you take your mother's like every month that you're entitled to because you're entitled to it or because you need it? And I promise you that there are days when I don't even need the rest, or I don't need to not be at work. I could be working, I could be pushing, but I'm like,
Today,
Check them out.
just
Matters. I didn't get
Matters,
this
you did.
month. Tomorrow I'll get it. So it brings you back to work ethic.
Yeah.
There will be a person who will skip that Mother's Day. Do you understand? And then they get promoted, and you're like, oh, they're favorites. No.
Why don't you take your Mother's Day, bro? It's not your company.
Yeah, it's a constitutional right. Constitutional right.
The next day.
No, I'm not saying. But my point is, I'm not saying don't take your mother's or don't take leave, right? But if
basically
you
she's
know what
just
you
saying,
want, if you know what you want, even
Yeah.
in your career, you know where you want to go, you want to grow, you will make sacrifices.
Yeah,
you
you
will
will come
need
to the coast.
to make sacrifices. I promise you, because you take your mother, you take every mother's and stay in the same position, or
Okay, but which
Let me
side do
finish.
you stand, Fela? Because first you were like,
Side
no,
back.
you know what? I need to what?
ahead.
No, you said that someone may be happy at the level that they are at, which is not necessarily at the level of the Zambian dream. Okay?
No, I
Now
mean,
you're
if you're
saying,
growing your
okay,
career,
cool.
guys, we also have a tendency as Zambians sometimes, we are very complacent and very comfortable. Like, as long as I get my, I'll give a maybe bar figure, like I get my 8,000 kwacha or 10,000 kwacha every month, I'm good. So you're not gunning for more. and it doesn't necessarily mean within that company. It could be somewhere else, right? But you're not willing to push. You're not willing to get to work. You say work starts at 8 a.m., right? I'm at the office at 7:58.
I think we need to address Lusaka people the most.
Yes.
Like,
So what I'm saying
because
is,
the work ethic is different.
yeah, but what I'm saying is you should be willing. You should be willing. If they tell you, okay, we need someone to come in earlier, right? It shouldn't just be, hey, I don't get paid for that. And I promise you, I used to be that. I don't get paid for that. I used to be like, guys, on my contract, my hours are from 8 to 5. So 5:30, I'm in the office. Are you crazy? That used to be me until I understood that. Look, sometimes they don't even need you to do that work. They just want to know if you're willing to do that work.
The key takeaway from today is willing.
Yeah, willingness.
Willing.
Really.
You
So it's like little things that we might take for granted. Like they're like small issues when we look at them. But just one day someone asks you, oh, Josh, can you stay late today because I need this done? And it needs to go out today.
No, I have to be inside.
Right? You know what I mean? And you're like, I don't get paid for that. That could have been the opportunity. Maybe someone even asked, like, oh, that Josh guy, I see him. Can you recommend him? I want to poach him from you. Do you understand? Small incidences. So I'm saying that sometimes
That's so true.
you have to do the uncomfortable thing to get to your place of comfort.
We're not talking about the wrong uncomfortable thing.
Yeah. I might say go and be quite Habibi for a week.
Yes.
But I
Habibi.
mean, discipline is not easy. Discipline is difficult. It's cold. Your blankets are saying just 30 more minutes.
Man.
But you need to be out the door. That is discipline. And sometimes we don't even reward ourselves for those like little things. It's a big deal that I got out of bed at 4 a.m. You know?
In addition to that, right? Because I remember earlier in this episode I said I quit my job because I heard the audible voice of God and I had to trust Him. Part of trusting God requires work. You know, I've actually done more working hours, done more work outside of an office than in. And I realized actually it was more comfortable to have that kind of structure. Because when you're freelancing or when you're being in an entrepreneurial state, right? Someone can call me at 18 for my expertise and I have to show up. Because what? It's going to pay the bills. You dig what I'm saying? Someone can call me at 20, they'll send me an email because they know this dude will operate on it. Of course, yes, there are boundaries that you can set around that so that you can still have a level of function. But I remember this one time putting in the work as much as possible, because the great part about entrepreneurial work is that you have what we call set focus on so many different things that you are able to do within your expertise, right? So even as you're working on those and learning in those, it gives you the freedom to delegate your time and allocate it differently, either throughout the week or within a particular day. Not so many people do that. Some people will just quit their job and sit and just hope, no, job will, I need to find something.
You just fast.
Miracle.
You haven't even applied anywhere. You're just fasting.
No, God will. Faith without deeds.
Because God is going to magically drop your name into someone's
Faith without deeds is dead. Like,
it is dead.
There is no reward for dead works. Like it's like you go stand outside the gym and you expect to be fit.
Yeah.
Gotta go in there and lift them weights. You dig what I'm saying? Because when you get in there and you start shooting in the gym, you know what I'm saying? Like shooting in the gym.
You know when I first started working at my job, right? I used to be the very 5 p.m. clock out, I'm done. Like any client that would call me after 5, I'm like, please call tomorrow. I am knocked off. Now
employers consider that the bare
I would be anyway, guys. I'm like, this. I'm trying to close the sale. Babe, it's 22. Yes, it's 22 hours. The client has called you and said, oh, that property I saw is a price negotiable. I'm even there now. I'm sitting down and said, you see, if you get this property right, this is what you can do. This is 22 hours. I have had zero sleep. So what I mean is, when you want something bad enough, you think you're going to come and say my working hours are done.
Another thing, if there are any excuses you can take and you take them, you are worse than the person who has every excuse and takes none. So again, it comes back to willingness. How bad do you want it? How do you want it? How does it feel? Okay, all right. So
Our age is short.
Yeah, no, I don't know that song, but it's just something you back to me.
Peg, you know.
how do you want it? Ooh. Okay, I'm kidding. But I'm going to jump that jump.
Yeah.
So ultimately, right? Ultimately, I think the biggest takeaway from everything, coming from repatriation, allegedly, of alleged coffins and
Bodies.
whether the body is there, allegedly, or not. To the Zambian dream, to religiosity, and every other practice outside of there. I think the biggest thing we can carry from that, whether you're employable or unemployable, is willingness.
Willingness.
I think willingness has carried us through all the conversations we've had.
What's willingness in vernacular?
Mm.
Lands.
Chako mawili so. Fimbi fyako ifwaye.
Yeah, no.
That's the closest I can get.
Let's check it out.
That's hope and faith. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but you know,
Yeah,
fyako
it's
ifwaye.
okay.
You can take the horse to the water.
Inside.
Yeah, but you can't force it to drink. So you know what I'm saying? Don't stand outside the gym. Go in there and find out what work does it take for me to get where I need to. And I think the gym can actually be the best analogy, because the work that you do in the gym, whether you're doing actual work in the gym or you're working on your body using calisthenics or anything, there's what they call points of break and points of failure. Points of break is where you feel pain. Points of failure is where now the body can't take it anymore. It's like, we are done. And then gym heads have figured out that you can push beyond the point of failure. Your body has said, we can't do this no more. But you will it to say, we're doing this some more. And you keep going, right? So, man, this journey that I'm taking, I'm learning so much in the gym. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
That's all I can say.
And that's all you should say.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because transformation happens to those who put in the work. So work out your salvation with fear and trembling for these days.
Segue of the year.
Destro, please.
Alright, that's been it from us at Side Eye Radio. Thank you so much to our sponsors for keeping us well fed and well refreshed. Yes, thank you for that word. Hallelujah. We'll now be bowing out. Have a good night, good day, good afternoon, good morning, whatever time that you watch our podcast on. Please follow us on all the social medias because we're also there. Send us topics as well. Comment in the comment section, like, share, subscribe, and all of that other good stuff. It's been your friendly neighborhood podcaster, Destro, and I've been with Josh, Nina, and Sam Sakala. Peace.